Thanks, Lori, and to the whole organization. I've been working mostly with Lori, and I have to say I'm so thrilled to be here. I've been, speaking on self-care and doing wellness for several years now, and usually you can find me by going down to the very corner of the conference. This tiny little down the hall, you can never find me, that's where self-care is, right? And so when they called and they said, a whole conference on self-care, I was like, well, finally, I'm not going to be sitting in the corner and all. So I'm curious, raising hands, how many of you, when you first heard that this was going to be about self-care and that was going to be the theme, thought, oh, finally, great, yay, Yeah, right. And then who thought, oh my gosh, self-care, what's that going to do for me or for my clients, or I don't have time, or there was sort of a bit of trepidation. Anyone? Like not totally sure? So here's the thing. You guys are here to pay attention to yourself. You're in a profession where you take care of others. And there are moments when we do that we forget about ourselves. And so today you get to put yourself first. However, that doesn't mean that's not going to affect your work, right? That doesn't mean that doesn't affect your relationships with your clients, with your referral sources, with doctors, medical community, insurance, whoever it is that you're dealing with, including your loved ones and family and friends. Okay, so I can't speak to being a doula. I'm not a doula, and I have to say I was thinking about when I was pregnant, and it's almost like 20 years ago to the day that I became pregnant. My son is coming back from his first year of college in 2 days. I'm okay. Not really. But I wish back then that I'd had the opportunity to have someone say, as I hear them now today say, who's your doula? Who do you got? That was not an option for me. So I just want to sort of commend you in bringing your profession to a level where I hear my friends now say, one of the questions is, who's your doula, right? And boy, I really could have used you back then, both pre and post. That said, I am in a service profession. So I, like you, I do yoga therapy, which means I combine yoga with psychology, okay? And I have private clients. And similar to you, being in a profession like that means a couple of things. One is, like you, we touch people. Right? Now, the touch might be physical, hand here, whatever it is, but certainly our clients are in their bodies. But we're also touching through the element of emotion, right? Life, heart. The other place that, when you're in a service profession like ours, is that we're supporting people. And we're supporting people through some really big changes that lead to some real big psychological transformations. And the third part of how we're similar, and this is the part we're going to be working with today, is what I like to call being on the edge of the art of giving and receiving. Right? There's this art of being able to give, but also the flip side of that is the receiving. Right? And if you don't think any of this has anything to do with your clients, you're wrong. Because it's our clients that are going through this. They are giving and receiving as well. And so if we can't act as an example to them in our own ability to give and receive, they're not going to get it. There's no example, and that's what we're here for. So today, we're going to move into that idea of giving and receiving. Today you get to receive, right? Yay. I know, some of you are like yay and others are like, nah, I'm not really sure about that, right? And today is simply about your experience, okay? Simply about your experience. This is about coming into the me, okay? Coming into me. Can you all hear me okay back there? Okay. So the me factor is what you're here for. And that might be uncomfortable today. And that might be really great. So I'm going to give you a few tools that you can use throughout the day in order to check in with comfort, discomfort. Okay? In fact, let's do a little something right now. So you don't need anything out. You're not going to take notes on this. I think even my handouts might have gone into your paper. Throw them away. They're old at this point. So what you can do is give me your business card. And I'm going to do a drawing for a free session. But give me your business card, and I'll be sure to send you the new, new revised. So how do you turn to me? Yeah. Maybe push your chairs back a little bit if you're close. So I'm going to do something. I'm going to turn to me, because it's all about me. It's all about you, but that's your me, okay? I'm going to turn to this is going to get very confusing, me and you. So I'm turning to my me, and I'm going to find some comfort in my body right now, okay? And I'm going to let you do the same thing. Now I'm going to speak about what I'm doing as I'm going through it, but I'm assuming you're going to have your own way of doing this, all right? So I'm going to turn to my me, you turn to yours, and find comfort, all right? So the first thing I notice that I do is close my eyes, and actually I'm looking down a little bit, and I need to take a couple of breaths because I notice I'm speaking really high and I can feel like my chest area, and that's too high for me, so I'm just going to take a couple of noisy breaths. And kind of let my energy settle a little more down into my belly. So I'm a little more grounded. My voice is a little lower, hopefully. And then I realize I need to move. I'm a bit of a wiggler, so I like to wiggle and move. And now I realize I have to sort of open my eyes just a little bit, but I'm going to still keep my eyes down so I have my own space here. And I'm looking at my feet, and my feet are talking. They're telling me they're uncomfortable. They'd love to have the shoes off. And my mind, so there's this little battle going on. My mind is going, well, if you take your shoes off, you won't look professional. You won't look like a speaker, so you shouldn't do that. My feet are saying, I don't really care. And your mind is saying, yeah, but you're wearing those stupid-looking socks. And so people will see those. And hang on, I'm just going to let them battle it out. So my mind's winning out, but my feet said, if later on I get to take my shoes off, I'm okay. So I'm going to keep them on. Okay, so I'm a little more comfortable in where I am, and I'm going to open my eyes and engage with you all, and you find your way to complete your level of comfort right now. I see for someone that's kissing a baby. Love that. I don't think I've ever been in a conference where there's been a baby. So, okay. So in that, in finding your own comfort, there were a couple of things that we did, and I'm going to have you continue to do that throughout the day. The first thing that you did is that you turned inward, right? And you found your own way to do that, whether you closed your eyes or put your head down or kind of put your gaze down or just left them open and changed some perspective, all right? So that happened. And then you found comfort. Now, I'm going to bet that along with comfort, you might have found discomfort. Like oftentimes when we're looking for one thing, the opposite sort of shows up. Yeah. So, perfectly valid, not a problem finding comfort or discomfort, just awareness, information. And then the third thing, which I forgot, is being responsible. Being responsible for your own body, right? And so when you think that this work in finding comfort in yourself doesn't affect your clients, think about what you're asking them to do. You're asking them to turn inward. You're asking them to find comfort and choose how they're going to be with discomfort. You're asking them to be responsible for their bodies, for their lives, for what's happening to them. And as long as you can also be an example of that and know how to do that for yourself, it allows you to also connect in then with your clients and for them to see that and go, oh, I get it. You know, oftentimes I'm working with someone and I work hands-on, and so I may be lifting a leg or something and I need to adjust my body because I need to take care of myself first. And so I'll let them know, just so you know, I'm going to adjust my body and then I'm going to come back into the posture. And I do that and I come back and they go, wow, you just took care of yourself. I need to do that. I would have sat there and just stuck it out, you know, and been in pain. So it's a learning that we give our clients, even though it's something that we're doing for ourselves. Okay, so at this point, you might be wondering, are we doing yoga? So let's see if I can get this to actually work.
I'm Chana Burkett, founder of Kashaktan Shakti
You all
Yoga
know
Wars.
Tracy Ullman?
Most of you probably know that yoga means union in Sanskrit, and that's what I want to talk about, unionizing for minimum wage. Yoga teachers have been a downward-facing dog for far too long. Help us put the clinics that exploit us. Hold on, I have a kink. I'm going to do the silently passing wind asana. Not so silent. It's one of my favorite poses.
Okay, I love Tracy. Just had to use her. So yoga, I heard you get yoga at some point today. But the type of yoga that you're doing here is not the put your foot behind your head yoga, or the passing wind asana yoga. The yoga that we're doing is self-study. There is a yoga of self-study, and for those who are yogis in Sanskrit, that would be swadhyaya. Okay? That's the only Sanskrit you'll hear from me, and I love saying that word, swadhyaya. So this is the yoga of self-study, and all day that's where you will be. Okay? All right. So, what are we going to be doing today? There are three sort of core elements to self-care. Okay? And three steps that you'll find in finding calm in chaos. Like, I'm sure you guys are in chaotic messes often, right? So the first step we're going to be working on is awareness. And what are the things we can be aware of? Your body, your mind, your emotions, your spiritual connection, your relationships, the way you are in relating. Okay? Acceptance will move into the idea of finding validity in everything that happens in order to find ease instead of stress. And we'll talk about that. That's what we're going to do this morning. Okay? Acceptance, awareness. The third A in my triple A's is action. So at the end of the day, you're going to come back here and have an opportunity to go, okay, what just happened to me today? And how am I going to take this idea of self-care out into the world where I actually live, where I work, where I have friends and family. So you're going to walk out of here in action. So the 3 steps: awareness, acceptance, action. Okay? Awareness, acceptance, action. I just read brain rules, and brain rules is, they said you have to repeat. So you're going to keep hearing me say awareness, acceptance, action. Okay? You have to repeat in order for you all to remember. Okay? Great book, by the way. And the way that you're going to be doing this is through your own experience. I have nothing to teach you. Isn't that great? Because you already know it. You already know through your own experience what it takes in order to be aware, in order to accept, in order to find action. You know those things. There's nothing new that I can teach you. What is going to be provided by the conference today, and hopefully by what I'm doing here, is a container for you to experience yourself within the awareness, acceptance, action. Okay? And so, so that you will turn to experience again and again to discover the closer approximation to your truth as it is in becoming in you. Okay? Carl Rogers is, for those who don't know, a psychotherapist. He's a part of the tradition that I do my work under. And I love this, that experience is for me the highest authority. Okay? So, all right. So, awareness. Here's another little video. Anyone like Dancing with the Stars? Okay. Okay, so I love Dancing with the Stars. I'll watch it. My sister lives in Chicago. I'm here in Mercer Island. And we're like, oh, did you see? She's got to go. She had, you know, like, what is that? And now, it was on last night, so do not tell me what happened because I didn't see it, okay? So I don't want to hear it. But last year, Jennifer Gray was on, I think it was last year, she was on and Dancing with Derek, one of my favorites. Oh, gosh, is he cute? I know, Lori's like, and this happened while I was watching, and I thought, here's where my mind goes. Oh my God, this is what the mind-body connection is all about. Okay? So here's what happened.
For our first dance, we're doing the Beanie's Waltz, and it's so-called These Arms
Are
of
you
Mine.
kidding me? These Arms of Mine is from Dirty Dancing, and when I first saw Derek choreographing for our dance, I was really excited. And then in 1 second, it really took me back, almost like in a time capsule.
So here's what happened. In 1 second, the mind-body connection happened. So she starts with the idea that, oh my God, I'm so excited. Do you all know Dirty Dancing? Like, am I speaking to? My son does not. I've asked that question of him, and it's very disturbing to me. So here in her mind, like the idea of doing this dance, and I have to say, Patrick Swayze had just died like 2 months before this happened. And so she was all excited. That sounds great. As soon as the music was on, she starts moving a little bit. She's watching Derek. She's hearing it all. Just that fast, the emotions came up. Just that fast, she was back there. And the video goes on to talk about what emotions came to her, what memories came to her, what images came to her. And so that's the mind-body connection in action, right? And I'm sure as you're working with clients, you know, it can be just that fast that something comes up, a connection between what's happening in their bodies and what's happening in their life, right? So we're going to be playing with that. We're going to be playing with the mind-body, and of course when I talk about it, mind-body connection is sort of the buzzword, but really we're talking about mind, body, emotions, thoughts, you know, images, all the stuff, spirit, soul, however you speak of that. All right? So Michael Lee, who wrote this, we spend most of our time living in a state of selective awareness. We're aware of the things that support life the way we have set it up, and we selectively hide from awarenesses that might rock the boat and change things. Right? So, Michael Lee is the founder of Phoenix Rising Yoga Therapy. It's the work that I do, and I'm on faculty with them, so that's my plug. That's as good as it gets. How about that? Okay, so we're going to go into experiencing. There's nothing more up here. Now it's all your turn. Okay? So what I'd like you to do is just put everything aside. You can, you know, move out of the way of the table, or, you know. And I'm going to have you turn inward again. Okay? So you know how to do this now. So go ahead and just turn inward.